There you are. Welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. But then you too are the center of the world. And I'm just going to jump into this. When I get an idea, it's kind of like a little atomic bomb. I may be writing on Facebook, and suddenly I see something. I see a hole. I get a vision. I get an idea. And I come running here to share it with you. I come here to pull the cotton ball apart. And I don't know how it's going to go because I'm not scripted here. I haven't written it down. I don't got notes. I don't got clip notes. I'm just winging it. So let's go. Fasten up your seatbelts. The topic here, the idea here is, what is political theology? This is a new word. I just created it. Let's find out what it means. What is political theology? Now, it requires a little historical knowledge here to remember that when the Middle Ages broke up, there was religious wars in Europe between Catholicism and Protestantism. Catholicism ruled the Middle Ages for 1,000 years, a religious empire. And then there was a reformation, a revolution called Protestantism. And Martin Luther, nailed his manifesto on the walls of the church. And he questioned the authority of the Catholic Church. Now, what is the authority of the Catholic Church? And why did this create religious wars? And I'm saying that we're in a religious war right now. A war between the Catholics and the Protestants is still going on. So what is Catholicism and what is Protestantism? Okay, it's very simple if we just wipe away all the fog here. Because it's recent history, why is it that a priest can be a pedophile and the church will cover it up, just transfer him to another? What are they protecting? They don't really give a shit about the priest. They're protecting the Catholic viewpoint. Now, the Catholic viewpoint is that grace or salvation is bestowed upon you through the sacraments of the church. And a Catholic day in the Middle Ages was structured by the sacraments. There was the sacrament for birth, sacrament for marriage, the daily sacrament of the Mass, and a sacrament for death. These sacraments were vehicles for divine grace, for salvation, and a prevention of going to hell. So they were very, very important, because the Middle Ages, hell was very real. And if you didn't go to church and do the sacraments, you were going to hell and spend your whole eternity roasting there on these terrible flames that never went out, you see. They believe that. So that belief is still kind of evident, you know. Oh, you better go to church. Have you gone to church? Are you going to church? You're going to hell. It's still there. But the point is that for the Catholic viewpoint, the sacraments were free from personal corruption. The Catholic priests can drink and they can tell dirty jokes. And of course the extreme is the pedophilia, but don't get focused on that. Catholic priests, particularly Irish ones, love dirty jokes and they like to drink. The Protestant ministers, if you get caught drinking or telling a dirty joke, you'll be exposed. The idea with the Protestants is that it is the character of the minister his moral perfection that is the vehicle for grace. It is through the minister that grace flows and you are saved. For the Catholics, it is through the institution, through the church, which is separate from the personal. In the Protestant idea of reality, there is no separation between morality, the church, and the person. If the minister is morally impure, he is corrupted and can't lead. And this is why this viewpoint, you see, got mixed up with our president. So Clinton, who was morally impure, was not fit to lead. Now Trump is a Catholic. Well, he's not really a Catholic, but Trump is the Catholic viewpoint. The Catholic viewpoint is that the president can be corrupt, but the sacraments, the grace of the office, the power of the office, still flows into America. Just like in the Catholic Church, God still flows through the church, even if the priest is a drunkard. So in the Protestant viewpoint, it's the character, the moral character, that is the vehicle for grace and salvation and power. And in the Catholic view, it's the institution that is the grace for power. So these are two fundamentally different viewpoints on what is grace. You see? And they're all mixed up in America because our politics have become a religion. It used to be politics was just an institutional, a play of political games during the day, and at night all the players go to the pub and get drink. Now it's save your soul. Now it's a soul salvation. You know, if you're in the wrong party, you're going to lose your soul. It's no longer a game. It's life and death, you see. It's shifted. So we're trying to look into this fundamental way, and it's mixed. It's like a martini. I mean, God damn it, where's my martini? A martini, I have hundreds of these. A martini is a metaphor for this because the gin and the vermouth are two different substances. But when you stir them together, it creates a martini. But you always serve it with a lemon twist of irony. With a lemon twist of irony. That's what my uncle said. He was a martini priest. Gin, vermouth, and a twist of irony makes huzzah, a martini. So what we're working with, changing this metaphor, you see, to America today, we've got the gin of Protestantism, the gin of the left, liberalism, and you got the vermouth of Catholicism and the vermouth of the right, and they're all mixed up together. But they're in there, and it's up to you to pull the cotton ball apart. What's going on here? What's going on here? So just getting back to this whole idea, the Protestant viewpoint, and America is a Protestant. If you say what religion is America, it's dominantly Protestant. So there's a lot of Catholics, but the dominant religion is Protestant. Just here in Blackstone, there's like I live on Church Street, and within a block of me, there's 4 Protestant churches. And on the outskirts of town, there are a number of evangelical churches. You know, they got bands. They don't have the rows in the pulpit. They got more like a auditorium there, and a big stage, and they got drums and music, and they get in there, and they got room to be emotional, to let the energy out. You see, in the churches in town, everybody sits there, very solemn. You know, like English too, kind of like Anglican church, where you just You sit in a pew and you stand up on cue and you sit down on cue. You don't jump around like the holy rollers in the black church. You don't let the music and the spirit enliven you. It's all very serious. It's all serious. And so there is one little Catholic church in town, and mostly the Mexicans go to it. So here in Blackstone, it's dominantly Protestant and dominantly Trump. But we're getting back to this point, and I hope you remember it, is that the idea, and these are viewpoints, the way of knowing reality, not just a church, but bigger than that, a wide angle. There's the Catholic way of knowing reality and the Protestant way of knowing reality. The Protestant way is that you must be morally pure. So you're always going, watching out for sin, Nothing will shut me up more, it used to, than when somebody says, I'm a minister. And right away say, oh, did I just curse? Oh. With the very idea of being a minister is the idea that you're morally pure. You got to put a lid on it, you see. You got to press down the flesh. You got to press down the desires. You have to press down the natural juices and keep pure and good. But those juices come up, and the next thing you know, you're in the public bathroom getting arrested. Oh, Jerry, the fall and tell, oh, I've sinned, please forgive me. The Catholics don't have that problem. In other words, it's the sacraments that deliver the grace, not your character. So I think this political theology is that Trumpism is basically the belief by his followers that Trump can sin, but he can still be a good president because it's the office of the president that delivers the grace and the power to America and not the character of the man. So, if Trump's followers were Protestant, I'm not getting into Catholics and Protestants, I'm just getting into a viewpoint. So if Trump's followers were Protestant in their viewpoint, they would immediately condemn him because he is morally impure. That's why people can't figure it out. Why do these Christians go for Trump, who has committed all the sins in the book? What's going on? They have a Catholic view. So our political conflicts right now are basically a reincarnation of the religious wars of Europe 400 years ago. The Catholics versus the Protestants. Thanks for dropping in.